Welcome to Petros Family Wealth. Today we're going to talk about two different tax tricks that we can incorporate if you have an inherited traditional IRA from a non-spouse. Let's dive in. So first, for the rules on an inherited traditional IRA from a non-spouse. So this could be an example of inheriting an IRA from an uncle, from your parents, from grandparents. The rules changed in 2019, where anybody that passed away and left their beneficiary traditional IRA after the year 2020, that inherited IRA has to be completely depleted within 10 years. So in this example, what we have is a $100,000 inherited traditional IRA from a non-spouse. And what they have to do is they have to completely empty it within 10 years. They could take a little bit up front, a bunch of it at the end, a bunch of it up front, a little bit at the end, and anything in between. But it just has to be empty in that 10th year. So the first tax trick is for clients that have a current employer-sponsored retirement plan, such as a 401k or 403b, and there's many more. And in this situation, what we're going to try to do is when we take money out of a traditional inherited IRA, that's a taxable event. However, if we put money into their own employer 401k plan, that's a tax deduction and essentially becomes a wash. So here's the math. Let's say a client is putting $6,500 a year into their traditional 401k through work. The maximum they can contribute if you're under age 50 for 2023 is $22,500. That leaves us a $16,000 difference. We recommend trying to replace that additional income that we're contributing to the 401k basically at the same time. A client could ask for that $16,000 up front, and then they go ahead and contribute to the 401k over time. But generally, just to avoid potential mistakes or forgetting about increasing the 401k, we recommend essentially trying to replace that income that we're contributing to the 401k like real time. And so in this example, that would leave about $615 per paycheck in a 26 pay period year that we would distribute from the IRA, the inherited IRA, no tax withholding. And then the client would subsequently contribute an additional $615 in their paycheck to make sure that it's a tax deduction and no real tax impact, and no real impact day to day as far as their budgeting goes. Second tax trick for our self-employed individuals. First thing that they could do is they could set up their own retirement plan. And there's 401ks, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, lots of different options there. But the one I was going to cover would be the difference between estimated payments and tax withholdings from a paycheck or IRA. So our tax system is a pay-as-you-go system. Most folks pay as we go when we get our paycheck, and we withhold taxes, federal and state, from each of the paychecks that we have. And then we true them up when we file our tax return at the end of the year. For self-employed folks, they generally have to make quarterly estimated payments, or if they have their own payroll system, they also withhold from their paycheck. Now, any withholding from a paycheck or an IRA distribution counts as an entire year payment, meaning that let's say I forgot to make my first and second quarter estimated payments, I could just take a little bit extra out of my paycheck, and then that would reduce the likelihood of having underpayment penalties and interest charged to me when I file my returns. Or you can distribute from the IRA and do 100% tax withholding in order to achieve that same end. So for example, at year end, a client's self-employed, they owe $10,000 more than we might have expected. And so what we would do is we would distribute $10,000 from the IRA and do 100% tax withholding. And that would count for the entire year, reducing the chances of an underpayment penalty and interest to the IRS. Hope those help. And if you want to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button, we're going to have more conversations and more detailed strategies to incorporate in regarding to inherited traditional IRAs. Thanks so much.